Hello. All right. So I wanted to make this video because I'm having a hard time, I guess, verbalizing in a Word document for you kind of everything I'm looking for. Um, I definitely want to offer the things that we normally do with all of the expert advisors. As far as like the trail stop and the, days and time controls and news feature and all of that, that's kind of the same across the board. I would also like a version that has the web administration, date expiration, and then no protection as well, like usual. But there's some things that, again, I wasn't really sure how to verbalize. So I'm working on my weekly analysis right now. And this is really what this expert advisor is going to be. So um, what I would like it to do is for any time frame that someone wants, they can load it up on whatever time frame and it'll work. But what I personally do is I do the 4-hour and the daily. Now maybe this would be a better expert advisor. Let me know your opinion. You're the one that it knows how this is coded, at least something to this extent. Would it be best to have like a dashboard that has like asset, like GU, AU, UC, whatever, and then have like the time frames? So like basically like a square kind of like grid that overlays on the chart, and then you can just in the expert advisor inputs, put what you want, like per asset, in what settings, and stuff like that. Or would it be best to load up each and every chart? I am open to your opinions and what would work best as far as like loading on MetaTrader 4, because I know once you get too much going, it just can become a lot. So the basics of the strategy is to identify basically support and resistance with X number of pips above and below, or at the. So here's the thing. Okay, it can be at the candle body. It could be at the candle wick, or it can just be X number of pips above and below the high and low of the previous amount of time, I guess. So this is where I don't know how to verbalize it. So like for me, what I do is on the 4-hour and the daily, on Sunday, I identify that high and the low from the previous week, at a but also not just the high and the low. It's more of the high and the low at the daily. On the 4-hour, I'm looking at roughly a 50 pip range or less. So it could be like 30 pips. Gosh, I don't know the best way to do this. Maybe we do a number of pips. Maybe that would be the best, or a pip range. So my rule on the 4-hour time frame is to do 25 pips to 50 pips, as far as the high and the low. So here's the last candle. This is kind of like, it's not dead center, but it's like kind of in the center, is where it ended. The range of the high and the low is 45 pips, but I never ever want to do less than 25. So maybe the input is actually like a pip range, like I said, or that could be an option. So I'm going to add that to the Word document. So pip range, especially for those that are going to be using shorter time frames like the 4-hour or less. There are some traders in the room that really prefer, like the 5-minute, the really short stuff. It's not quite my jam, but I really like to stick to the daily. I just do the 4-hour to like kind of help people kind of see how to set that up. So that's really the rule there. Like I said, 25 to 50 pip range on the 4-hour time frame. So maybe we just have an input that's like pip range, you know, and maybe like low to high, so 25 to 50. And they can enter that how they want based on their own rules and their own time frame. Another option to identify that high-low, we could do like an indicator. So it's not based on on pip range. It's based literally on the previous high and low of X number of candles. Maybe that would be best. Or maybe not even an indicator. Maybe it's literally just the previous X number of candles. So let's say 10. Whatever that high and low is would be these two lines here, and have the option for a buffer. Excuse me. So if the previous 10 candles show here and here, maybe the person wants a 5 pip buffer, so it moves down 5 pips and up 5 pips as far as sending out the high and low. I think that would probably be a good idea. So that's one. Pip range, and I guess number 2, I'll put in indicator if you recommend that. Otherwise, we'll just say X number of candles back. So that'll be 1, 2, and 3 for the identifying the high-low. Sorry, so I want to make sure I cover everything. This video might get a little bit long. But I just want to verbalize everything correctly. So the next big thing is, so once that is identified, that high and that low, okay, this is the last candle right here. That's this horizontal line. So I do want to have that was the vertical, sorry. I do want to have the vertical and horizontal lines displayed on the chart just like this, because I want to have the option to manually identify as well. So I will put that as number 4, manually identify. So this is something that I would personally use, because I don't really like to just base my entries off of an indicator or off of like just set rules, unless if I don't happen to be at the chart. But I would really like to just go in on Sunday and move these to where I want for the high and the low, and have this vertical line automatically go to the last candle that was shown when I'm setting the trade up. So I would like to really just manually identify that, like I have been, and then I mean, if that's possible, I'd really like to have this visual. That part is really kind of important to me, for sure. But once I move those to where I want, then maybe there's like a button you hit or something on the chart, like start EA, or something like that. I guess I don't know how that would look or work. I mean, I've seen some EAs that do have like things you can interact with on top of the chart. So again, maybe there's a like a button. I'll put that after manually identify. Put button with a question mark. I feel like that would work the best. Like I said, I'd like to have the visual of the vertical line and the 2 horizontals. but also with an option to have horizontal lines show up for the take profit levels. But I would like that just to be an option. Automatically, I do want it to show these 3 lines here, but as far as whatever the take profit, whether someone's using a trail stop or they're manually trading based on X number of pips, or whatever route they're going for the take profit, or like the multi-position, things like that, I would like them to be able to, have that visual if they would like to. Or I guess you tell me. Maybe we don't need that. Maybe it just once. So let's say we, manually put in the high and low, and then we hit, start EA or whatever. I guess it would put those on there as a visual. Sorry, I'm going through thought process here. Let me know if that would not show. If it would not show, I would like to have the ability to show it. If it would show, then just forget what I just said, because it would already be showing. I want to have that visual, especially for newbie traders, because I feel like they just kind of lack that, especially if they're a visual person. So anyway, on to the next thing. Sorry, this is getting so long. I am going to put dashboard with a question mark as well as like a visual on the chart. And you tell me if it would be best to have, like a box over here that has all the different assets that you have set up in the EA, with the time frames, and stuff, or if you think it would be best to have up like each individual chart. I'm cool with whatever you think is best. So I'll just put dashboard with a question mark, visual chart. Because I know before you did an EA that was like, I think it was called dashboard actually, and it had like, you could enter in, like type in whatever asset you wanted in the EA, and then it like loaded it up on the chart to kind of show, but you didn't have to like open every chart, so I don't know if that's better for loading or not. So I would, the next portion of this is if the high is broke, then I would like to have the option to wait for that candle body to close to make sure it's not just a candle wick that broke, or enter just upon the break. So I'd like to have those 2 options. I'll just put break, high, low, number 1 based on break, number 2 based on candle close, and then number 3, I would like to, or maybe not number 3, maybe a totally different input would be, but still, based on that break, to trade one side or both sides. So if somebody is setting this up on a short time frame for like news or whatever, to trade the news, and they want to enter on both sides, if both sides break, then great, or whatever the reasoning may be. Sorry about the helicopter. So I would like to have the option, let's say it breaks up here first, and the trade sets up and everything. I would like to have the option to then obviously cancel anything that's on the lower break, and vice versa. but also to have the option for those that want to trade both sides, that if it breaks up first, then those trades, for the low break still remain active, basically, in case if it does. I don't personally like to trade like that, but I know some people do. So I just put in the notes here, trade one side or both sides. You can word that however you want, but that's, I guess, what that means. And I just have it under the break, high-low. The next portion, and this is very important, is so some of the EAs, when I have the professor running or whatever up here, and I close out of MetaTrader 4 or restart my computer or whatever, I open MetaTrader 4 back up, and whatever visual I had, so let's say I've got the vertical line and the two horizontals, they are then gone. So then I have to go back to my post and then figure out the high and the low and everything else, and put in the vertical and horizontal lines again. So if there is a way to just keep it so whatever you had up last, if you close out of MetaTrader 4 and you bring it back up, it is still there. So in the notes for the Word document, I'll just call that, the opening and closing of MetaTrader 4. I'll put stay on chart, what was previously there. Okay, so that portion is really important. The next portion is the alert. So I would obviously like to have this be, be able to do the push notifications, the email alert, and the, push notifications, email, and pop-up alert. But what I would like the alert to do is state the high and the low. Well, whatever the asset is, the high and the low, and then the take profits. So if there's multi-positions or anything like that, then what those next 3 take profits would be. Let me look and see how I do this. So this is what I send out each week, and I go through each asset, and I put for the 4-hour here, new defined 4-hour ranges, NZD/USD. So here's the high and the low, and AU, high and the low, UC, high and the low, EU, high and the low. So it would be really cool, again, back to that dashboard thing, if it could state multiple assets all in one alert, if we go that route. If not, then we could do, a separate one for each asset. That's fine. But it would be cool to be able to just load up the EA, have that, that dashboard to go to, and then I could just click 4-hour and daily for whatever assets I want. And then, I don't know, when I hit start EA or whatever, it would send out all, the alert, but as one, one big alert. I do also send screenshots, and see, here's where the important part is as far as having that visual. So this was GU D1. I always name the image, whatever the asset is, and the time frame. See, here's the vertical line, here's the high and the low, and then here's a couple take profits. So I would really like to have a way to like include that. I don't know if that is possible in the alert, to like send the screenshot as well and name it accordingly. So like GBP USD D1 H4 etc., and then have that visual be showing, you know, exactly the way that it is. So in the Word document, I'm going to put visual chart screenshots and like proper labeling of asset and time frame. If that cannot be done, I understand, but it'd be really cool if it could, because then I could literally just grab right from, jeez, I can't close this. Oh, this is annoying. How do I close? Ah, sorry. It'd be really cool to just be able to like have that alert be sent and have all that information instead of having to create this post every time, you know, or just copy and paste it, and then I could upload the images and they're already labeled, you know, AUD, USD, H4, D1, you know, stuff like that. Because that, it does have to actually be that title for WordPress for it to have that as like the caption so that they know. Oh gosh, sorry, I shouldn't have even opened that darn thing. Try and log back in here. Now everything's running really slow. Anyway, I would like to have I can't remember the EA that we had before. I think it was the Big Mac D, where it had a visual here, and it was in like the upper right hand corner. And it was like results. So whatever inputs the trader has, you know, set for, you know, their style of trading, their asset in that time frame or whatever, it would show the results up here, what would have occurred. I know that's a little bit harder with trail stopping maybe, but it'd be really nice to just see that. That way they can like load it up on a chart, and then they know like the New Zealand dollar did the worst out of, you know, all the assets, or, you know, the pound dollar did the best, and it was on, you know, it was on the daily time frame, and it did the best with those inputs. I'd like to really have that visual for people, you know, and state, gosh, like the like number of pips, you know, that you would have got from that trade, or the loss, you know, and loss, and then like be able to go back, you know, the previous 100 trades, you know. I'll put previous number of trades. So if it would have been, you know, yeah, you know what I mean, like the previous 50 trades, the previous 10 trades, the previous 100 trades, whatever the person enters, that's what this little chart would show. And it'd be nice to show it and not have to have it running. So like, let's say I just want to see, so I'll just open up the EA, I'll change the inputs to what I think would be best, and then I hit OK, and then up here it shows, previous X number of trades, and it's based on whatever inputs I just put. And then I'm like, oh no, I bet I could get that better. So like, open up the EA again here, change a couple inputs, maybe choose a, 25 pip, take profit instead of a trail stop or whatever, kind of change things, hit OK, and then that show here what those results would have been again. So I would really like to have, that visual of results. This is not indicator based. I do like to have the professor set up because when I do videos, I kind of talk about it, and I talk about the cross of the Hall moving average, and I talk about the B bands, and things like that. But it doesn't need to. I know that kind of slows MetaTrader 4 down stuff sometimes, so like there doesn't necessarily need to be all this stuff up there. I just do it as kind of a visual, I guess, to help people. Trying to think of what else. Let me see if this has loaded yet. Oh, here we go. I just want to show you the rest of the post and how I do it. Sorry, this one's taken so long to get out to you. Every time I go to write it down to send you everything, I keep running into the same issue of how do I explain it. So, let's see here. I was wondering if there is a way, because right now the email, so the alert goes to an email account, and that automatically, anytime there is an alert that says whatever is a subject, so SummonX Mail or Nadex Solutions or whatever, it automatically goes to Zapier. And Zapier, no, maybe I won't bring this up. Zapier then sends it to Fleep. I would like to remove Fleep and potentially remove Zapier. I'd like the alerts to just go to Telegram. That's an app. However, there isn't well, Zapier has what they call zaps, okay? And these zaps do not include going to Telegram. So I was wondering if there is a way to just skip Zapier altogether and have it go to Telegram. I'd like Telegram to replace Fleep. Fleep is a little bit clunky. I mean, it's worked, I guess, but like there's a lot of things, so like members can post in there and stuff, like there's no way to turn it off for others to post, and so some will like be posting questions about like a signal, or whatever, and see, this is Zapier, like it brings in the alert for people right away. And then I also send out my market commentary, but I physically like log into this and then I send the title with the link. So I was wondering about just like removing Fleep altogether. Telegram has an option so that you don't have to, or so that nobody can post in there other than an admin, of the group. And over here you see we have different, so we've got like Slick Trade Signals, we've got people that only subscribe to DaVinci, so they only get the DaVinci signals, so it has to have that ability to go to these different groups, but Telegram has different groups. The issue is that Zapier doesn't have a Zap that goes to Telegram. So if you have any suggestions about that, or if that's something you could code, because I did talk to Zapier and they said that if I had a developer that could code a Zap that goes from, like pulls in the email the way Zapier does, but goes to Telegram, that would be doable. Or there's also a program called IFTTT, I believe, or IFTT. IFTTT. So it's very similar to Zapier. It's more affordable, but they have the same thing. It doesn't pull that like notification or that email to go to Telegram. So if that's something that could be coded, that would be really cool. I want to make things more streamlined and easier and all that. And then if we can get this market commentary alert to just send, to send instead of me going in and creating a post every week and all that good stuff, and then manually going to Fleep and posting it. And, it'd be cool to just have it all be streamlined, have it all send out. I feel like it'd just be a whole lot easier, and then we could remove a couple things. Here we go. Now let's load it. So here's the market commentary. Like I said, here's the 4-hour time frames, high and low. This is the screenshots. It's taking forever to load right now, sorry. Usually all these show up here as a gallery. And then here's the daily. Now I obviously type this in, correction phase, currently in consolidation period, all that. I mean, if there's a way to identify that and have it be sent, that'd be really cool, for each asset. But if not, then we could at least have that high and that low, which is called key levels here, but to have that high and that low, and to have that screenshot again with the take profits, but in the alert to also like state the take profits so people could just copy it and paste it into their MetaTrader 4. That'd be really awesome. So that's all the things. I'll send over the Word document. I just thought that this video would really help to clarify things, and let me know if this is all doable. I'd really like to move forward with it, and yeah, I look forward to hearing your thoughts on it. Okay, thanks. Bye.